It whispered my name from the dark. And it wasn't the first time. The sound didn't echo like a normal voice. It slid across the walls, curling into my ears as if the shadows themselves were breathing me in. I froze, too afraid to answer, too afraid not to. Because the whisper wasn't just sound, it was intimate. It said my name the way only someone who truly knew me could. I wanted to believe it was a dream or the creak of the old house, but it wasn't. I know, because the voice paused, waiting like it expected me to respond. I didn't, and maybe that's why it keeps coming back. But maybe I should start at the beginning. Most nights, my life is painfully ordinary. I work late, scroll through pointless feeds, and tell myself I'll go to bed earlier tomorrow. Spoiler, I never do. Insomnia feels less like a problem and more like a lifestyle at this point. There's something oddly comforting about the quiet hours, when the world seems asleep and I can pretend I'm the only one awake. That's why the first time I heard it, I didn't panic. I told myself it was my brain playing tricks, the way exhaustion makes shadows look like shapes, or how a creaking floorboard sounds like footsteps if you're tired enough. I laughed it off, even joked to a friend that my house was haunted by my sleep schedule. But looking back, I should have noticed the first warning. Something in the silence had changed, even before the whisper came. The first real time it happened, I was lying in bed, phone still glowing in my hand. The room was heavy with that kind of silence. You only notice once you stop scrolling. Then clear as if someone leaned over, I heard it. Name, just once. My own name, spoken softly, almost lovingly. The voice was low, a breath wrapped in syllables, as if the air itself carried it. I sat up so fast, my phone slid off the sheets. My heart was pounding, but my brain raced for excuses. Maybe it was the TV next door. Maybe some half-asleep fragment of a dream. But the walls were too thin, and the sound was too precise. It wasn't noise. It was intent. Name. This time it came again, right against my ear, though the room was empty. I whispered back, stupidly, "Hello." Nothing. Just the hush of a house, pretending to sleep. I forced myself to lie down again, to pretend it was nothing. But I couldn't, because once a voice knows your name, you can't unhear it, and it didn't stop at just saying my name. It learned other things. It didn't take long before the whispering became routine-like. I'd adopted a stalker no one else could see. Sometimes it said my name in a soft, almost tender way, like a lover trying to wake me. Other nights, it hissed it through clenched teeth, sharp and furious, as though I'd done something wrong. Once, I swear it laughed when I dropped a glass, mocking me in my own voice. It wasn't confined to the bedroom anymore. I'd catch it in the bathroom mirror, a faint echo behind me that didn't match my reflection's lips, or in the dark reflection of my phone screen, whispering as if the glass were hollow. Worst were the dreams where I'd wake to the sound of my name, only to realize I was still asleep, trapped with it. I grew hollow-eyed, paranoid. But what was I supposed to do? You can't exactly call the cops on a whisper. My friends thought I was joking when I told them. Maybe I wanted to believe that too. Still, I started noticing patterns. It never came during the day, only late, in that thin stretch of night when sleep is deepest, almost like it had rules. Asterisk one night, it didn't just call my name. It whispered something else, something no one should have known. It said the name of the dog I had when I was 6, the one I buried in the backyard, alone, because I was too ashamed of how it died. My parents never knew. I never told anyone. Hearing that secret fall from its mouth in my own trembling voice nearly broke me. I sat frozen in bed as it listed memories, my first kiss, the lie I told my best friend in high school, the thought I had once about not wanting to wake up. Every syllable was a theft. It wasn't just speaking my name anymore. It was inside me. And when I finally dared to whisper, "What are you?" the silence that followed was worse than any answer. Later, I found out I wasn't the first person it followed. Asterisk, I thought I was losing my mind till I started digging. Late-night searches pulled me into strange corners of the internet, half-buried forum threads, abandoned blogs, stories that read too much like mine. People who claimed a voice called their name in the dark. Some said it only came when they were alone. Others swore it followed them from house to house. I thought I was special. Turns out I was just next. A few even mentioned rules, things you could do to keep it away. I read them, but I won't repeat them here. Not all of them worked. Asterisk, the last night I tried to ignore it. Everything changed. The whisper didn't drift gently from the dark, erupted. My name screamed in a dozen voices at once. My mother's, my best friend's, even my own. The air turned icy, pressing against my chest like a weight. Every lamp flickered. Every shadow seemed to lean closer. Name. It growled, then pleaded, then laughed, switching tones, as if cycling through masks. And then, in perfect imitation of my voice, it said something that froze me in place. If you don't listen, you already know what happens next. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. For the first time, I stopped pretending there was a rational explanation. This wasn't a trick of exhaustion, or echoes, or dreams. It didn't just know my name. It knew what I was going to do next. Asterisk, so that's where I'll leave it for now. I don't know what it wants, or why it chose me, but I can't shake the feeling that telling you this might not be safe. Maybe it's listening right now. Maybe it's listening to you. What do you think it is? Some kind of parasite? A spirit? Something older? Has it ever called your name? I'd really like to know if I'm the only one who's heard it. There are details I haven't shared yet. Things I'm not sure I should. Maybe in another story, if you want to hear them. Drop your theories in the comments. Hit like if this kept you up tonight, and subscribe if you're brave enough for more. And remember, you ever hear your name whispered in the dark, don't answer.